Isang magandang Sabado po ng umaga sa ating lahat at ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa ating Panginoon at nagising po tayo muli sa isang umagang puno ng pag-asa. At dalangin po na sa umagang ito ay tayo pong lahat ay nasa malusog na pangangatawan at pag-iisip. Welcome po sa 11:43 DZMR para po sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan. Muli, ako po si Dr. Jennifer C., your program host, at samahan niyo po ako sa loob ng kalahating oras upang pag-usapan natin ang isang napapanahong usapin. Speaking of panahon, panahon na naman po ng tag-init. And particularly, ang pag-uusapan po natin today is about El Nino and its impact to health. Isa po itong article na nakita ko sa group of charitable foundation na tinatawag na Wellcome. So, like welcome, pero double L, come, na ito po ay isang organization na established almost 100 years ago, in 1936, na it's a research institution, no, na that they would like to solve urgent health issues facing everyone, no, that they support science project. Ayan. So, dito po natin nakuha ang ating topic for today about El Nino. So, alam naman po natin, tayong mga Pilipino ay kakatapos lang or sa buong mundo, no? It's just the first few days of March 2024. At nung nakaraang buwan, February, ay medyo na-enjoy pa natin yung malamig na panahon na sanhi po ng hanging amihan, no, na na-experience natin in the early New Year. And syempre, kasabay din po neto, hindi pa rin po natin dito, part sa ating probinsya ng Lambak ng Isabela, hindi natin gaanong na-experience yung kakulangan ng water supply. So parang hindi tayo naaalarma. Pero sa ibang lugar po sa ating bansa, particularly in the Mindanao area, ay naranasan na po nila yan even as early as late of last year. And because of this, pwedeng mawala sa isip ng mga tao na meron nangyayaring El Nino sa ating bansa. So, itong El Nino po to ay pabalik-balik na weather phenomenon or condition na kung saan ang global temperatures ay tumataas, na kung saan nagkakaroon tayo tinatawag na extreme climate and weather events. At nagkakaroon po ng health consequences etong pag-iba-iba ng klima sa buong mundo, no? Naapektuhan ang kalusugan ng sangkatauhan. So sa araw na to po, pag-uusapan po natin yung health effects of El Nino at kung bakit kailangan tayong maging handa sa mga ganitong panahon. Dahil very critical po, tulad ng kung nangyari nga nung mga few years back yung COVID-19, so tayo din po ay maging aware and ready sa magiging impact ng El Nino. Okay, so El Nino has been underway since July of last year sa ating bansa. In its latest advisory, yung pong PAGASA, ni-remind tayo that a strong El Nino persists until February. Sa balita nga po, it peaked in the last week of February. And the global climate models predict that yung kainitan ng El Nino ay aabot po ng until May. So ano nga po itong El Nino? Ito pong El Nino phenomenon na to ay una po itong na-observe ng mga fisherman, no? Ng mga fisher folk, mga mangingisda sa bansang Peru noong 1600s. So about 4 centuries ago, no? And this is one of the Earth's most significant climate phenomena na kung saan po ay umiinit po yung tubig at because of that, yung nutrient-rich na tubig sa karagatan ng South America ay nawawala. At since wala pong nutrient yung tubig doon dahil sa pag-init, syempre hindi pupunta doon ang mga isda. So walang supply, walang isda noong mga panahon na yun sa Peru. And so kaya tinawag nilang itong El Nino. Kung bakit El Nino mamaya sa pagtatapos po natin, di-discuss ko po. So Napansin nila na every 3 to 7 years ay nangyayari ito. So, virtually walang isda sa dagat. At syempre, hindi lang naman sa Peru affected, kundi yung the rise of surface water temperature in the Central and Eastern Pacific Ocean, syempre, apektado po din yung mga ibang bansa. So, they could influence the weather system worldwide. Kung meron po tayong naririnig na El Nino, meron din po tayong naririnig na La Nina. So El Nino and La Nina are the warm and cool phases of the cyclical climate pattern. So it's a cycle, okay? What we call the El Nino Southern Oscillation. So oscillation, parang ngayon El Nino, kumisan La Nina. So the El Nino Southern Oscillation or ENSO is the most important natural climate phenomenon. So natural po to, hindi po to man-made na kumbaga dahil nagpuputol tayo ng mga puno or dahil kagagawa na ng the greenhouse effect. No, the rise in the temperature is really a natural climate phenomenon. Okay, so driving a year-to-year variations in the seasonal climate in many parts of the world. So hindi po kagagawan ng tao o hindi to consequence ng mga pollution itong El Nino. Okay, so sabi nga natin kanina, during the 1600s, may El Nino na. So during the El Nino state, no, sabi natin oscillation, papalit-palit. So during El Nino, it means there's a warmer than usual sea surface temperature, sabi natin kanina, and it has an irregular cycle of 2 to 7 years. So from El Nino to La Nina. At yung pag-init or paglamig usually lasts around 9 to 12 months, around 1 year. Okay? So, eto, katatapos lang natin yung 3-year-long La Nina period. So, dahil ng mga nakaraang La Nina, nasusuppress niya yung global temperature. So, tumigil na daw po yung La Nina. We are now in the El Nino phase. And history says that the major El Nino events in the past 50 years have led to devastating floods, droughts, forest fires, and coral bleaching. So, apektado both land and water. And there are at least El Niños recorded in the 20th century na daw. So, paiba-iba yung init na itong El Nino. At its strongest ever recorded, ito po yung taong 1997 and 1998. At ang mga bansang talagang matinding tinamaan ay ang Indonesia, Malaysia, and of course, ang ating bansa, no, Pilipinas. And the extreme weather associated with El Nino resulted in an approximate 23,000 deaths worldwide. So, apektado talaga ang kalusugan ng buong mundo. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na health crisis due to climate change. Samahan nyo pa ng mga pandemic. So, doble-doble. So, nag-intensify nga ito last year at ang mga health problems that can be caused by the El Nino, it could range from infectious and respiratory diseases, malnutrition, heat stress, and even what you call mental illness. So, yun yung mga side effects. And while it is challenging to predict precisely how El Nino will affect health globally, so we also know that its impact on the environment will have diverse health implications. Ayan. So, marami. Pero marami din naman siyang positive effect kung minsan, like ngayon, medyo mainit. Siyempre, bilaran will take advantage during the harvest season. But because of other mga implications, mas marami daw yung mga negative effects tulad nga ng health. So, I'm gonna share just one picture. Ito po ay sa Bangladesh, sa bansang Bangladesh, na nanalo ito ng photography prize kung sa mga nanonood po ng YouTube or Facebook page ng Usapang Pangkalusugan, makikita po to sa picture na tong isang tuyong tuyot na lupa taken in a bird's view. Siguro naka-drone shot to ng kinuha na kung saan meron isang batang may sakit na ibinabiyahe. Biniyahe daw nito is around 15 miles across the parched land. Na ang nanay niya ay hawak-hawak yung swero niya all the way at nakabisikleta siya na nakakariton na ihahatid sa hospital. At itong batang ito ay may sakit na diarrhea. Ayun. So, because of poor, safe drinking water, ayan. So, dehydration, infection, wala pang matinding transportation o daanan. Ayan. So, good thing daw, itong picture na to ay nakarating sila sa hospital at nagamot itong batang ito. But many of those who attempt this kind of journey ay hindi po pinalad. So, climate change is a global health problem already impacting millions of people around the world. And nasabi natin kanina, no? Higher temperatures and health. The very strong El Nino, okay, na nasabi natin, ay meron siya ding worldwide, 2015 to 2016 was the hottest record daw. Surpassing the limit, that kind of limit this year, 2024, could have severe consequences. So rising temperatures directly contribute to heat-related death, with an estimated 30% of excess heat-related death attributed to climate change. So, pwede daw pong ang prediction ay tataas etong taon na ito. So, mayroon nga pong study na for each degree Celsius increase in heat stress exposure sa mga kababaihang buntis, there is a 17% rise in fetal strain at nagkakaroon daw po ng elevated fetal heart rate, yung heart rate ni baby sa loob ng tiyan, that can cause reduced blood flow through the umbilical cord. So, pwedeng maapektuhan ang baby sa loob ng tiyan. Other diseases caused by El Nino are what you call the infectious diseases. Okay, so they could expand in range because of the El Nino, yung sobrang init. This could create favorable conditions for mga bad bacteria survival or some disease-carrying vectors like mosquito. Gustong-gusto nilang mag-breed sa ganitong klaseng klima. Okay? So this could escalate disease outbreaks and alter the spread of infections tulad ng cholera, dengue, malaria. So yan yung mga nakakatakot na sakit. Now, the health risks of extreme weather events. Okay? So extreme weather events brought by El Nino can cause extreme heat, droughts, or storms and flooding. Noong pong 2013, taon po ng El Nino po yun. Pero yun po yung taon also na nagkaroon tayo ng bagyong Yolanda. So kung doon po namumuo yung mga super typhoon during mga ganitong El Nino season. So mga flood-related health risks are multifaceted. Pwedeng because of, syempre, basang-basa, hypothermia, drowning, undernutrition, and injuries tulad po ng leptospirosis. So yan ang mga flood-related. Okay? Pwede rin sa mga ibang bansa like Australia, wildfires, or even in the US, wildfires. Buti na lang dito sa ating bansa, walang mga ganyan tinatawag na wildfires. So sa global economy, no, sa buong mundo, with food systems already vulnerable to extreme weather, we are likely to see higher malnutrition rates because of crop failure and increased food insecurity. Kakulangan sa mga pagkain. Okay, so alam naman natin na El Nino has historically impacted livelihood and health by causing extreme droughts and also severe flooding in many parts of the world. So sa bansa nating nakadepende sa agrikultura, syempre pag dry spells and droughts are expected, this could mean crop failures affecting food production. Okay, so the last time na nangyari po to ay noong 2018 and 2019 na malaking halaga po ang nalugi sa ating bansa, no? With the agricultural losses from typhoons. Ayan. So, etong picture na ito is this is a picture of here in the Philippines na kung saan etong babae to, actually hindi niya anak yan, pamangkin niya ito. This picture was taken in a place in Bohol, okay? Na noong taong 2021 ay rumagasa po itong bagyong si Odette. Ayan, or internationally known as Typhoon Rai. Ito pong si Typhoon Odette ay pumapangalawa kay Yolanda, no? The second costliest typhoon in the Philippine history. So, ganun po ka-affected ang ating mga kababayan. So, hindi lang economy, even mental health. We know that climate change adversely impacts mental health in many ways. So, during heat waves, pwede kang magkaroon ng mga increased incidence of suicide rates, hospitalizations for psychiatric disorders, and even emergency room visits because of psychiatric illnesses. Tumataas. Global heating means people taking medications that disrupt the body's ability to regulate temperature are particularly vulnerable in high temperature. So, nako sa mga menopausal, parang ang hirap. Okay, mga katulad ko. So, sino daw po yung mga taong at risk for El Niño's health impact? Okay, syempre yung mga taong mayroon na talagang mga comorbidities. So, sa mga bansa sa buong mundo na talagang matinding effect ang El Nino ay yung Latin America tulad ng Peru, dahil sila ngayon unang nakadiscover nito, Venezuela and the Brazilian Amazon area. Dito sa Southeast Asia, syempre tayong bansa, Pilipinas ang nangunguna. Kasama na ang Indonesia and Malaysia, the West Africa, from the land down under ang Australia and the Pacific Islands. So these regions in the world, we struggle to cope with the climate shocks with those in low and middle income countries disproportionately affected. At yung mga coastal communities, yung mga malapit sa karagatan, they also bear a heavier burden dahil sa kanila unang pumapasok yung mga super typhoon, no? Tulad po sa ating bansa, talagang parang, kumbaga sa bowling, sapul na sapul tayo para tayong pin na talagang tatamaan netong bagyo. So the human health consequences for some of the most vulnerable populations in the world will be catastrophic, ika nga. Pero there's still time to act to limit the health effects, and through science, there's already a significant progress that could accurately predict kung kailan dadating itong mga El Nino. So pwede nating paghandaan itong phenomenon na to, natural phenomenon na El Nino in advance. Ayan. So we should have an enhanced preparedness measure ranging from emergency services readiness to strategic agricultural planning. So dito sa ating bansa, ready na ba tayo, ang bansa natin, sa El Nino? Paano ba pinaghahandaan ng gobyerno natin etong El Nino? Dahil sabi nga, talagang this will persist until the middle of this year. So ang ating mahal na Pangulo, meron siyang tinatag na Task Force El Nino na pinangungunahan ng National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. So ang priority nila is, ang action plan nila, of course, tubig, pagkain, kuryente, kalusugan, and safety ng mga tao. At nakadelegate ang mga ito sa mga ahensya tulad ng Department of Agriculture and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. So, kailangan nilang masigurado na hindi magugutom ang sambayan ng Pilipino, hindi mauubusan ng mga tubig, at syempre, of course, yung mga food contamination ay dapat mabawasan. So, as El Nino intensifies, paano naman daw po tayo dapat maghanda? How can we prepare for the El Nino? Okay? Kasi dadating tayo sa dry condition, dry spell, and eventually drought. Okay? Na kung saan way below normal rainfall conditions na will arrive in for 3 consecutive months. Walang tubig talaga, no? Walang ulan. Okay? So, how are we supposed to prepare for this kind of season? Okay? So, how to prepare? Unang-una daw, we must monitor the weather forecast and advisories sa ating mga ahensya tulad ng PAGASA, yung mga ibang authorities, no? Mga news, doon tayo mag-rely, hindi sa mga social media na hindi naman totally maasahan, to keep us informed. Okay? At syempre, if we are properly informed, ang ating mga decision making will be based on the truthful information that we receive. Okay? And we could take necessary precautions. Next is we should store enough water and food supplies. Okay, so water scarcity can happen during El Nino. So ensure that we have enough water na nakalagay po yan sa malilinis na sisidlan. At kung kaya at umulan, collect rainwater for non-potable uses tulad ng pandilig, ayan, panglinis ng mga sasakyan, o doon natin gagamitin yung mga rainwater, panglinis sa bahay, ay, okay? So additionally, stock up on non-perishable food items for adequate food supply during potential disruption. Mag-store lang tayo ng tama. Huwag naman tayong mag-hoard. Mag-install din daw tayo ng mga water-saving devices at home. Okay? So yung mga leaking faucets, make sure na maayos. Okay? Install din natin yung mga tinatawag na low-flow shower heads to reduce water consumption. At sabi na, pakinggan ko sa news, kung pwede lang sa Manila, wag daw tayong gagamit ng mga inflatable pools. Ayan, to reduce water consumption. Okay, maging responsable daw tayo sa paggamit ng tubig. Okay? And of course, take care of your physical and even mental health. Nandito pa rin po tayo sa post-COVID season. During hot season, tataas pa yung cases of cholera, dengue, chikungunya. So, iwasan po natin na matamaan. Okay? Always drink clean water to avoid diseases and get the necessary vaccines and wear insect repellents to protect and even boost your health and well-being. So, how are we to cope? Stay cool and emotionally hydrated. Ayan. Drink plenty of water. Ulit-ulit natin sinasabi. Avoid outdoor activities during the hottest hours. Yung mga beyond 9 o'clock hanggang early afternoon. Wear protective clothing and sunscreen every 2 hours. And contribute to sustainability solutions. Paano? Magtanim tayo. If you have time and resources, collaborate with your local government, LGUs, or disaster management agency to share information and create strategies and encourage more civilian participation in climate change solution. Magtanim tayo ng mga puno, halaman, magtanim tayo ng mga gulay sa ating bahay, kapaligiran, hindi lang yung consume ng consume. We can be producers, no? Good producers. We can produce our own greens. Hindi lang tayo basta bili ng bili. Mas maganda pa nga yun, alam natin hindi siya contaminated. Yun. So that is how we should prepare for the El Nino. As we end, I would like to share a verse coming from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 7. Alam naman po natin, ang author nito is ang wisest man who ever lived, si King Solomon. Sabi niya, all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Di pa rin daw napupuno. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. So nasabi natin kanina, El Nino is a weather phenomenon that includes the warming of waters in the Pacific Ocean in the equatorial latitudes. Pero bakit El Nino? El Nino means little boy in Spanish, and El Nino also means the Christ child, no? The young Jesus. So the Spanish and South American fishermen seafarers noticed this unusually warm water in the Pacific noong pong 1600s. At tinawag nga po nila itong El Nino de Navidad because it typically peaks during December, during Christmas season. Okay? So what was realized by the early settlers and explorers during the times of Peru was that varying weather conditions change from year to year is a weather patterns as an act of God. At yun po ay naintindihan ni Haring Solomon kaya niya isinulat itong tinatawag nating cycle, the hydrologic cycle, na kung saan, di ba, may evaporation, condensation, ayan. So, science yan, inaaral yan. So, ito ay wisdom na ibinigay sa kanya ng Panginoon. So, kung alam ni Haring Solomon itong hydrologic cycle at sumunod lang sila, no? It is therefore evident that God is the author of everything. He is the creator. So, He controls, He set the seasons and the earth and the solar system in their cycles and orbits. So, He determines the varying conditions, even the weather conditions of the earth. So, maniwala lang daw tayo sa Kanya, sa katotohanan ng Kanyang salita, that He is in control. Kung ano man mangyayari itong taon na to ng tag-init, okay, we are rest assured that in God's divine plan for the earth ay hindi niya tayo pababayaan. He is doing this whether for correction sa ating mga pagkukulang, whether it's a test of our faith, or even a manifestation of His love and faithfulness towards His creation. So, ano pa ang dapat nating maging role, no? Our responsibility is to be good steward of this earth. Now, that we should ensure its preservation and sustainability for the next generation. And that's it po for today sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan. Nawa sa sandaling panahon ay may naibigay po tayong linaw at mahalagang impormasyon tungkol sa El Nino. Ang dalangin ko po ay mamuhay tayo ng malusog sa katawan at sa kaisipan. At abangan niyo po muli ako sa susunod na Sabado para po muli sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan. Dito lamang po sa 1143 DCMR, a proud member of KBP. Ating tandaan, ang ating kalusugan ay kayamanang di mapapantayan. Happy weekend po sa ating lahat!